Guys, we have some exciting news for you. Crypto exchange traded products, not just the ETFs, but other products as well, has hit a level that hasn't seen since the last bull run. Like, we actually haven't hit these AUMs basically since December of 2021, and that was still fairly bullish. Yes, we know we peaked in November, but we didn't actually go down until February when all this Russian war stuff started happening. And we're back to that level now. So that's the level of excitement that we're actually at. Of course, this does include the $5.2 billion of inflows to BlackRock and Fidelity, but there's a lot of other ETPs that have been around for a while that are also swelling since that's actually happened. And of course, outflows from incumbent players have decreased dramatically. Of course, like when they first announced the ETFs, Grayscale products sold 623 million of weekly outflows, but now it's actually been decreased massively. And basically this week, you're seeing like maybe a tenth of that at this point. So we've actually stabilized the outflows and we're having a lot of inflows. And that's why crypto exchange traded products have reached bull run levels. So the hype is building. And I think like the retails that buy on spot exchanges will actually come in very, very soon. Now, I want to talk about the possibility of two bull runs because we are going up very, very quick right now. The ETF stuff is not really going to stop coming. I expect a couple more billion from BlackRock and Fidelity in the next month, and that should cover any like kind of downward trend that we actually get right now. So like, I don't think that the initial ETF run is quite over. Yeah, we're stuck at 52 for a while, but heading towards the halving, and I think with miner reserves at like several year lows, they might actually be stocking up some to actually sell after a bull run after the halving. So I think there is a possibility that we get another big lift. There are a bunch of shorts around 53K. And if those get liquidated, we could easily go to 55 or 60K. So hopefully before the halving, we can actually have a bull run to about 60K. And that'll probably permeate until after the halving. We run up to about 80K, hopefully, like in a couple months after the halving. And then there actually might be a pullback as people take profits. You got to imagine at 80K, a lot of these altcoins are also taking off. And some people will actually want profits. A lot of the spot traders will actually start, want to trading some of their Bitcoin, some of the Bitcoin ETF shares, those that aren't limited by time, will actually want to start selling as well, and will have a little bit of a pullback. And that pullback can be fairly large, maybe from 80K to maybe like 60K or so. Now, this is a pretty optimistic scenario that I'm actually painting, 80K to 60K or so. And then, towards the end of the year, or towards Q3, Q4, mainly Q4, like September, October, will kind of freeze around that 60, maybe 65K area, close to the last all-time high. And as the end of the year comes around, when we have November, December, January, we have a lot of rules going in place that banks and funds can finally store BTC in their reserves. Maybe Qatar really wants to come in at this point, or Saudi Arabia really wants to come in at that point, which results in inflows maybe as big as the ETFs. And, that kind of like that window, that 4-year cycle will actually reach its maximum too. So people will want to come in after that. They see that we don't really retrace any more than 60 to 65K for a while, and we start going up again because of the Middle Eastern stuff. Then they will really, really FOMO in at that point, and we'll go the rest of the way to about 120, 150K. That obviously depends a lot on how people react to the rule changes. I do think some banks and institutions will actually want to buy a lot for themselves. I do think the Middle Eastern countries at least will put some money in at that point. They've been talking about it a lot. It might not be hundreds of billions, but it may be billions or tens of billions. And that would actually get the pot started too. And then at that point, a lot of the retail will definitely FOMO in as well. And then, of course, the alts will go crazy again as volume improves. And that's going to be like the second leg of the bull run, or the second bull run that we have after a minor retrace. And a minor retrace, I mean like 25% or so from 80K to about 60K. And, at that point, that's when you're going to see a lot of the all-time highs. If this actually ends up happening, you do have a chance to sell the altcoins when Bitcoin reaches the first all-time high, and then the altcoins retrace, And then Bitcoin, when it goes to the second all-time high, and when the altcoins follow, you have another chance to pump it. Now, this is obviously just a conjecture. It may or may not happen, but this is one way it could play out, because I think like after we get past the all-time high significantly, there will be some people that want to pull back and take a profit, obviously. That's going to happen sooner or later, because, if you invested, let's say at like, 30, 40K last year, and all of a sudden goes to 80, 90K, some of these altcoins are going to go, 5, 10x. That's a lot of money to be made there. So they're going to want to pull back. But once the bigger countrywide money, like the Middle East and like institutional money, really comes in because they can hold it themselves, that will probably fluctuate and balloon again. So that's why I say there actually might be 2 bull runs lasting until next spring, possibly next summer. Once again, there's a lot of wild cards in play, like the Middle East and like how much institutions actually want to hold for themselves. But I think they will want a fair amount, because I think they do actually see the real potential these coins crypto actually has. And I think like Asia will help a lot. I know Japan and Korea, like I've talked about on stream today, will want to have some more strict controls over cryptos, but if you look at Korea, they've actually suspended crypto taxes for 2 more years. And that will actually help Korean investors get in, because one of the big fears was taxes from Korean investors. Hong Kong is also granting more licenses, and that is a gateway for China to get in. And looking at China's sputtering economy, they might want to accept crypto sooner rather than later, just to revitalize their economy. So, with the AUMs reaching bull run levels, I do expect a pump in the next 3 or 4 months to the all-time high, past the all-time high, and then afterwards maybe a retrace, and then after the retrace, we go up to the true high. So that's why I think there actually might be 2 bull runs instead of 1, and that's a great chance for you to cash out once, wait for it to pull back, buy the coins in, and then, wait for the second one. Now, of course, I wouldn't pull all my coins out in the pullback, because there's no guarantee that a pullback will even happen. I'm just speculating that some people want to cash out. So it's really your determination on when do you think that cash out system is. I think the first kind of like the cash out time will be significantly before Bitcoin hits 100K, but the second time will actually go past 100K. Right now, we are stuck at 52, 53K. I think there's a lot of shorts building up right now at around 53K, 52K, because people are actually thinking that Bitcoin is going to have another pullback, but I think it's a little early for a pullback, and we're sustaining right now. Plus the institutional money, I think is going to hard to have a pullback. Remember, we did have just like a 20% pullback just from like 46K to 38K really often. And I think some people did load up at 38K. And the thing is, like, I know some people are still waiting for 20K or 9K. Like, a couple of influencers haven't given up on it. Otherwise, they're just going for views or something. But that, I think, like, as it doesn't happen in the next few weeks, it's going to appear to people that it's just not very much going to happen. And eventually, the pressure from the ETF buying will definitely pull through for Bitcoin. So I think, like, after this stop, we'll probably maybe stop again at 60K. And then, like, after that, like, I expect us to go straight up to around 70K, which is the all-time high. Stop there for a while, maybe until the halving happens, and then go to like 80K, 85K. Then have a pullback, and of course have a second bull run later in 2024 into 2025. And that could actually be one for the ages. Now, a lot of people are saying like could this be the last bull run? No, we're always going to have bullish and bearish periods. And given the nature of crypto and the fact that they can't ever fully control it, and some countries are actually okay with the decentralized stuff, I think it'll always be more volatile in the stock market. There will always be projects that are just shooting off. If you can catch the right wave, you can always be rich. And I think like that's always going to be somewhat of an attraction for crypto investors. The fact that they can actually make a lot of money in a small amount of time, I think that's going to be very, very attractive to people that are less risk averse and willing to gamble. Because you can pick penny stocks, but even for penny stocks, there's a long registration process to actually be listed on something like the New York Stock Exchange or the Dow or the NASDAQ. With crypto, like any coin can be listed on like the DEX like the very next day after they create it. So there's always like more of an opportunity there for people to actually come around and make their own projects. Yes, most of those projects are going to be crap, but as we've seen, people will actually buy crap projects and pump them up, just hoping to get some money or some fast money. So there'll always be that opportunity. I don't think you'll need to worry about crypto losing that opportunity. And the people that are pushing against crypto and trying to kill it, yeah, they're not succeeding right now. So I think we'll have more freedom with crypto regardless of like how it goes in the future. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.